what was your first experience with holistic healing?
So personally myself, I started this journey around 1981 by meeting Dr. Ignatius. He was one of our teachers. He had a healing center in Queens. He had a school in Queens where he teaches natural living. And he had a meditation center on Bedford Avenue there in Brooklyn, right opposite Medicare Evers. And so I was just gravitating towards the energy. It's not something that I planned to do. I was running like 3 or 4. At that point in time, I probably had like two beauty supply stores. I was just selling beauty supplies. I was catering to the outer beauty, and I didn't have no knowledge of the inner beauty. So I was just catering to the outer beauty. So somewhere along the line, when I started meeting all these learned elders, I created a phrase, a term that I used. I said, we now, that we have this responsibility to take care of people, because they started to teach me. Mind you, I never had any issues. I never had any what they call chronic disease or anything like that. I wasn't constipated, or I had no arthritis, diabetes, impotency. I was in my like 40s and stuff like that. I was still rocking the boat, you know. I was having a nice time. And so I was just meeting a lot of nice people, and they started teaching me. And so I wasn't seeing people that were sick. I wasn't around people that had chronic disease and sick things. I wasn't even aware of the issues of impotency, womb issues, prostate issues, diabetic issues, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I was not cognizant and conscious of all of those things going on. I was just doing things like selling perms and relaxers, combs and brushes, blades, dryers and all that stuff, you know. I was dealing with the external. And I was earning quite a lot of money doing that, so I ended up running these beauty supply stores. And then I started learning about the damages these things was doing to people. And I wasn't even into the psychological damage and the conditioning about our women have to straighten their hair to get a job and all that stuff. So I was going through the process, selling the stuff, because I wanted to be with our people, with my people. So between 1970 and 1981, going to 1983, there's a metamorphosis, a transformation starting to happen. And so what happened is that we was just learning about ourselves, our tradition, our way of life, because we were celebrating somebody else's story. It was not our story. Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, the 4th of July, all that different things we celebrating. And we eating what we want, we doing what we want, and not recognizing that we are creating internal damage to our temples. So I was in that category, and so we end up getting this knowledge about our culture and our history and ourselves. We all got together and we keep evolving, and then we move from that type of business. And so while we was having these beauty supply stores, there's like the transformation, the cocoon, and then you get the butterfly. But what you get before the cocoon? Tell me, somebody, what do you get before the cocoon?
The caterpillar.
The caterpillar. And what do you think the caterpillar doing? He crawling and walking and finding his way, right? Then he make this cocoon and he go inside there. And then the butterfly had to come out. The only way the butterfly can come out of that cocoon is like strengthening the wings, strengthening the arms, strengthening the mental state of being. Knowing thyself, who am I, what's my purpose here? And then you come out there, you bust out. So we end up with a vegan or vegetarian raw food restaurant at Dean and Flashbow. It's Safmic Holistic Nubian Center. So we do a lot of juicing, raw food, raw drinks, sea moss this, sea moss that, since 1999. I didn't really plan to do what I'm doing right now. I didn't plan to do this. I didn't plan to study about plants and herbs. So there was something that is innate inside of me because of my mother and my family in Guyana. I spent a lot of time in the country. You know, I was not a Georgetown type of person, but we were living in the scheme, East La Peninsula, so I was in scheme. And so what happened is that they would all send me for everything. They say, go and pick that bush, go and pick this bush, go to the market and buy that. So I was in the category of a gopher. They constantly tell me, go for this, go for that. In school, they were teaching us woodworking. They would teach us farming behind Christ Church I used to go to Christchurch, then come Christchurch Secondary. And so we had a garden behind the church. We used to grow food there. And then they teach us to learn to deal with bees and how to harness the, what we call the cone and the honey and all that stuff. So I was doing all that stuff, but I was just being led. It's like spirit, you know, it's like intuition. I had no control over that stuff. It was just happening. Guyana was a truly awesome journey. So when I sit down and I think about it, Guyana was preparing me for America. Because I tell you, when it comes to America, most of my friends, they got heart operation, knee operation, womb operation, prostate operation, high blood pressure, diabetes. All kinds of stuff is happening to a whole bunch of Guyanese people. And not only Guyanese people, people that are born here and people that leave different islands and come here. And during a period of time of their levity, of their lifestyles, they develop all this chronic disease. And so the World Health Organization and CARICOM and Pan-African Health Organization, they came up with this system and they call it CNCDs. And CNCDs is right there. And so they're having all of these meetings, and globally they have like special days they put aside to get people to eat more natural and more holistic and stuff like that. And so I was well prepared for that. And so when they started doing it, I already know about all them things. Them things they call diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, inflammation, they call arthritis, gout, right? All of that stuff is in the category of CNCDs. Everybody is getting it, right? But nobody's catching it. That's what it is, bro. You got to hear what I'm saying. Everybody's getting high blood pressure and diabetes. This man impotent, this woman got womb problem, this one got breast problem. But ain't nobody catching what they're getting. Where they getting it from? How come the doctor ain't telling them where they're getting it from? It's getting it from their mental state of condition because what you call colonialism.